Good morning, class. Okay, I hope you're doing good today. So this time, I will just give you a short review of what we had last time. So this is all about JavaScript. Okay, so you have learned that a web page may be made dynamic by inserting scripts other than HTML. So one of the popular scripting language that you can use is what we call JavaScript. So with the use of JavaScript class, a page or a web page can process and provide information based on the data entered in the form. So you may also use it to respond to commands of mouse clicks and other actions that you may perform. So while JavaScript is used by some to enhance pages by putting effects and other tricks. So we will focus here on how to gather and process data. So this is because a web application does not affect or does not need effects and tricks, but a way to evaluate data that have been entered. Okay, so in this lesson, you will learn the basic Java statements, the structures and functions that will enable you to accept and evaluate data to produce information, to produce the information needed, right? You will also learn how to use JavaScript to make a page interactive by making a react or event such as a mouse click and other similar actions. Actually, I posted this one in your CLE, okay? So the tricks and one clicks. So let's start. A short review. So, um, so as mentioned, class, JavaScript, okay, is similar to English language. Okay, compared to English language, sentences in JavaScript are called statements. Okay, and they are shorter than the English version. So I'll show you an example. So in English, this is the statement. If the value stored in variable a is 0, then display a pop-up box that contains the text that reads as the value of a is 0. So that is very long, right? But when it comes to JavaScript, it is a very short. So in JavaScript, it is converted or translated in this way. If, that is the function, if a, the variable name, is equal to 0, when you have two equal, it means that is equal to, okay? If a is equal to 0, then what will happen? Display a pop-up box down. In JavaScript, the pop-up box is called alert. Then automatically you go with alert, okay? Alert, then parenthesis, do not forget with a double quotation, and then the statement. The value of a is 0. As simple as that, okay? Now, let's go on how do you insert JavaScript. Okay, you already know this one. That JavaScript can be inserted in two ways. You can be inserted in the body, or it could be in your head section of the HTML file. Okay, so it could be also using the external text file, okay, with a file extension of .js. So when you make use of the external text, therefore there is no need for you to include the script opening and close tag inside them. It's just attached. So how it works? So like it shows like this. So script source equals src source. For example, that file name is myjavascript.js. So that is your location. So you just have to call the file name. Okay, so that's it. Now, in JavaScript, So just like in HTML, there are comments. Okay, so the same thing when it comes to JavaScript. So what are the comments? So these are used to input or to put information that can be useful later, such as name of the author, reminders, or notes that explain the JavaScript codes. And remember that comments are ignored. Okay? Comments in JavaScript are ignored by the browser and may be created using the following. Okay? These are the two kinds of comments. We have the single line comment and the multi-line comment. So when we say that it's a single line comment, this occupies only a single line, may be inserted by starting it with a two slashes, okay? Two slashes. And the multi-line, this is opposite with the single line, so it occupies two or more lines, should be enclosed using the um, slash, asterisk, asterisk, slash, okay? Understood? Now, we will go to case sensitivity. So you have heard before now with my discussion that I mentioned it many times that when you use JavaScript, this is a very case sensitive. So when you say case sensitive, names that refers to commands, functions, variables, and keywords should be written or used correctly, or else it will create error. So look at for the example class, variable a with the capital letter A and the variable letter A, small letter a, are two different variables. Okay? And when the function alert with a small letter a, function that is used to display a pop-up box should be written in a lowercase. Using alert with the capital A will generate an error. Okay? Same with if is a control structure using a decision making. So later on you will learn the different conditional statements of JavaScript. Okay? Using if with capital I instead of small letter I will generate an error. Okay? So please do take note of this. Now, variables. So variables class, these are the temporary storage for values that you will use in your program. So the value stored in variables may change by assigning a value or a new value and are case sensitive. So the symbols used to signify that you want to assign a value to a variable name is the equal sign or the equal character. So the equal character is one of the assignment operators. So again, you will learn the different operators in the next lesson. Okay. Now, so for example, look at the example class. A is equal to 5. So it means that store the numeric value, store the 5 value into a variable A. Okay? B, store the numeric value to a variable B. So I got a mistake here. So it has to be letter A since I put variable A small letter with the in the last part. So it has to be in same. Okay? So C equals A plus B. So that is the expression. Okay? So C holds the value of whatever you input of A and B. Okay? That's how we are going to translate it. Okay. These are the things that you have to take note, okay? These are the rules in naming variables. So it should always start with a letter or an underscore sign. Do not use a special character except for underscore, or you cannot use the name of a keyword or an existing function as the name of your variable. Use a naming convention similar to the examples below. You have to capitalize the first letter of the word. Okay? That is the camel approach. Diba? Look at the camel. It has like that. Go, liko-liko. So the first letter of the word should be capitalized, or instead of doing it, you just have to put underscore. First underscore value. So that's the norm. Okay? So I hope you understand the topic. Now, let's go to our activity. The process flow. So when we say the process flow, class, so the purpose of writing a program, okay? Why we write program? No, that's the question. The purpose of writing a program is to enable machine to accept data, process and display information, or perform a specific task. So if you will review the examples, the previous examples, you will notice that the statements are sequenced and follow a process. Okay? So we will call it the process flow. So the process flow has three basic parts. Okay, first, input. So what is input? This is the time that there is an accepting data from the user or other sources. B, process, performing calculations and other tasks using the data. C, output, displaying the information generated from the data. So if you're going to write a program, you have to follow the process flow. First, you have to identify what is the input. Okay? What are the things that I need to process or to enter? Okay? Then, next, process. So what is the process? How to get this part? For example, adding. So you have to do the addition or, In the output, what would be the final? It could be alert, prompt, or whatever. Okay? So you have to identify the process. Okay? Take take this as an example. So I am showing you okay, this one. So this is an example of a JavaScript program which I just created a while ago. So this is area of a rectangle, length times width. Okay, to get the area of a square by length rectangle. Okay, all right. So this is area. I'll change the title. Okay, area of a rectangle. All right. So same process. Head for HTML head, the title. Okay, head. So body. So I just placed my script tag. Okay, in below the body tag. So the process of this, okay, this is to get the area of a rectangle, and you are familiar or you are aware that to get the area of a rectangle, you have to multiply the length and the width, right? So I have to identify first what is or what are my inputs. So first, okay, I have to declare variable. The short term for variable is var. Okay, that is the first thing that you have to learn. You have to declare isulat tanan nimo need is so identify now what are your variables. So first is you have to enclose the word var. Next, so I'll just make it simple. I'll just make use the letter, okay? So my variable names are L, which stands for the length, W is for the width, and A is for the area, okay? Now, the input here is this. I need to input a number for my length, width, okay? So these are the input. Now, so look at the example that in my L, I have prompt. You are aware that prompt lets the user type or input something, okay? So the statement of my prompt is please enter the length. And then double quotation, comma, then 0. Okay? So you will identify later. So 90, it's because it is a number. But it could be okay if wala na na. W, prompt, again for the width. Please enter the width, 0. A, so these two are my input. Now my process, how am I going to get the length and the width? So therefore I have to make a variable, okay, that contains the answer, okay? So si A, this is a variant